that's Mother Nature. He can't do anything about that. But my reason for calling, yeah, so much has happened in sports. Thinking about it, after that 53-year drought, the New York Knicks have won the championship, their NBA championship, a long waited after so many years. They hadn't won it since 1973, and they had won it 73 during that time. That's something that's when they last time they won it was 2 years before I was born. I was born 75. And see, my father was still around. He remembered because he went to college at Grambling with Willis Reed. My father was in the band, and Willis Reed was on the basketball team. He was one. Mr. Reed was one of the nicest guys you wanted to meet. He used to be at the Grambling football games. May he rest in peace. But it's great to see Walt Frazier still getting out and about, and him dressing fly. He was there at the games, and he lived it. And people don't want to forget about those Red Hoseman teams. But now Mike Brown can lay claim to the championship. And by the way, my middle brother Melvin Hunt coached under Mike Brown when he was Cleveland Cavaliers head coach. They lost to the Spurs for the NBA championship during that time. LeBron was there before LeBron went to Miami. And yeah, Mike Brown. They just that's all they needed was just that coach and who could. The players were there. Leon Rose was a great GM. He put that team together. He took risks putting that team together. It made James Dolan look good. But he got the right person. But also, I look at the Carolina Hurricanes. Rod Brindamore. He like I said, I told y'all that last Saturday. Brindamore won it in 2006. Stanley Cup championship. He was a star player, and now he was really determined to get as the coach, and he ended up getting it. I see they having their victory parade and celebration to this morning in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah, and now it's coming to the College World Series. The University of North Carolina and University of Oklahoma. I wonder if North Carolina can finally get that monkey off their back because Mike Fox got him there twice and they couldn't get the national championship. They lost to Oregon State. But see if Scott Forbes can break it and win the national championship. And Oklahoma hadn't won it since 1994 under Larry Kochel when he had players like Chip Glass and Darvin Traylor. But when they beat that Jason Varitek Georgia Tech team. But yeah, it's going to be quite interesting today to see what's going to happen in the best of three. I didn't mean to go a long time.
No, that's fine. I want to ask you
in
this though.
Omaha.
You never brag
Yeah.
about your brother. Your brother coached in the NBA for years. Where's he coaching now?
He's at Baylor. He's at his college alma mater, Baylor University. He's coaching under Scott Drew. Yeah, his alma mater. He played there back in the late '80s, early '90s. That's where he's an assistant coach at Baylor. He had worked at Baylor before as a compliance officer before he got into coaching in the NBA. I think he had coached high school. And, he was doing it. He coached from the Rockets. He coached many teams and coached for 20 years in there. And he took some time off, and then now he's back as assistant men's basketball coach at Baylor. And that's right. It's great for him being there at this time with this change in the college landscape, with NIL and all that. Having him there, that's a huge help there, and having to manage the rosters.
Well, you got it, Chuckopedia, man. We appreciate you listening. You stay safe for the weather. But thanks for listening to the Nick Brown Show, and thanks for calling in.
All right, and you all have a happy Father's Day to you all. I'm an uncle, but I know you all are fathers and all this. But happy Father's Day to you. And like I said, I'm an uncle. I don't know if I count for anything, but
you do count,
Day.
Chuckopedia. You count on the Nick Brown Show. You always count, Chuck. You have a great weekend.
All right, you all take care.
Chuck saying he doesn't count. Chuckopedia counts. Wouldn't be a Nick Brown Show without Chuckopedia. He never talks about it. You're having a heartwarming moment. It's like the bat signal for Chuckopedia to call in and just drops a little dime that brother was coaching in the NBA and then going through, but now coaching at Baylor.
Yeah, and he just says it like it's nothing. He just like a little trickle. Yeah, in the NBA. Now he's at Baylor.
And I think the beauty of those, and those listening on Classic Hits 94.5, is like Chuckopedia is not looking at a computer when he's telling you that Oklahoma played for the baseball national championship, who they won it with. That is indeed why he is Chuckopedia. And coming in delivering the pillowy fluff delicious daylight donuts, that would be Preacher Man. You got to be excited about all the World Cup soccer.
Yeah, it's fun. The only live broadcast I have right now to watch it is Peacock, so I'm getting to watch the whole broadcast in Spanish. So, but that's been exciting.
Depending on who's on the call, that may be the better bet.
I mean,
I'm about to say that's probably the best energy you're getting.
I
Yeah,
mean,
depending, there's a couple of the regular rotation of English that I'm not the biggest fan of.
there's no breath. I mean, it is nonstop. I recognize the American names, and then they do the long goal when they score.
That's the best part in soccer, right there.
Yeah,
Sorry, football.
but
Football.
yeah.
There you go. That's right.
So yeah, enjoyed the game.
All right, love to hear from you at 888-993-7762. That is the Origin Bank hotline and text line. We gave the cheer guy the floor today. Heartwarming moments in sports. Getting a little soft on the Nick Brown Show. Based on you got a home run. You're even going to give us the brothers' names from Georgia and Oklahoma, which, I mean, you got to think of as a parent. I saw the jerseys, and you got to be excited about that. You had your Georgia and your Oklahoma personalized jerseys, and they meet up, same side of the bracket. But the brothers, and if you look, where are they from? Texas? I think they're from Texas.
Yes, they're from where is it? Lucas, Texas.
Lucas, Texas.
The Colby and Kyle Branch brothers. So not too far away from home, but then when they're at college and then getting to go all the way to Omaha to the national championship and playing against each other and then having a moment like that. I just think you don't get to see a lot of that in sports, and it's always good to see some good in sports these days.
All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to grab a Pillowy Pluck Delicious Daylight Donut, refill that coffee cup. You're listening to The Nick Brown Show on The Nick Brown Show Network. 8 o'clock hour brought to you every Saturday by Adala Health PC. Check them out online. Great primary care. That's Adala Health in Ruston. We'll be right back after this break.
Nick Brown for All Hours Fitness Ruston. In Ruston, life doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, neither should your goals. Welcome to All Hours Fitness Ruston, your 24/7 destination for strength, health, and a better you. We've just grown. Enjoy over 15,000 square feet of premium equipment, outdoor training, and live classes. With our exclusive ladies-only area, cryotherapy, red light therapy, massage bed, and tanning, we've taken away every excuse. Locally owned, built for life. Join the family at All Hours Fitness Ruston today.
Friends, this is Skip Russell, your #1 insurance agent in Ruston for the past 42 years. I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
Between school drop-offs, practice, and work, who has time to get sick? When your family needs medical care, don't press pause on your life. Adala Health Primary Care in Ruston is your ultimate health care game changer. We make family wellness easy with fast, comprehensive care, routine checkups, and school physicals. Our passionate team gets your crew back on track and back to your schedule without the hassle. Book instantly at adalahpc.com or call 318-551-4311 or visit Adala Health at 902 South Vienna Street today.
ProVision Security, preserving your past, protecting your future. Cameras, doorbell cameras, systems you can control all from your smartphone. Security systems with low monthly monitoring starting at $14.99. ProVision Security is more than security. Sound systems, hanging your flat screen TV, speakers in your ceiling, even Wi-Fi systems. ProVision Security, 314 East Georgia in Ruston. Call Michael at 773-3703. Check him out on Facebook. ProVision Security.
This is Brandon Kraft, General Manager at Homes Plus. Are you tired of your rent going up or paying someone else's bills? At Homes Plus, we are North Louisiana's land and home specialist, so come in and see us today so that we can show you how to own for less than renting.
Get the plus, Homes Plus.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop.
Set Thanks for tuning in to The Nick Brown Show. On the air, online, and free app.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. That was App State. Like it. As Louisiana Tech joins the Sun Belt Conference, they're going to be excited. Little App State.
Yeah, that would, I can't say there's a ton of Sun Belt Road venues I want to go to, but that would actually be a fun one to go to.
I think so. I think that would be a good one. Of course, you've been to Hattiesburg, to the top in M.M. Roberts Stadium, the Rock in Hattiesburg. There's a lot. Of course, you look going to, of course, renewing the rivalry with ULM, so that's exciting. I think it's a great day. Now, you got to perform. It's going to be tougher. I think they're
Absolutely,
better, top to bottom, tougher than Conference USA. So, Lynn Scarborough going to join us at 9 this morning. And I looked around, went to the beach, and like, I didn't go look specifically. So, told the family to look, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. They couldn't find it. They probably found it but didn't think old brother-in-law was worth a whopping they've gone up this year. Actually, $12.99 in the U.S. So, no, they haven't gone up, and it's $15.99 in Canada. So, picked it up, but Lynn Scarborough made the mail out this week. And I picked up the copy of Lindy's. And so I've been reading the National Edition, and I will tell you, if you're only going to buy one, I would buy the National Edition. The Southeastern Edition is not Southeastern Conference, but the National Edition is where you can go look at predicted order of finish for the MAC, Conference USA, Sun Belt. But I read all of these articles that are in between, and I came to one, and Lynn is very positive, as you are, wearing a Disney shirt, and we're all jealous. You make us sick to our stomach. You should just move to Orlando. But here's the thing. But you know what? I should fire both of you. You go to Disney World every time the wind blows. You take every cheer team every year, and you get to go judge. And, like, I'm in the middle, and
you get to go to the beach every other week.
The last I heard, I don't think I've ever heard you say, hey, I want to go.
I will tell you this. This is a side note. Went on one trip with you and your cheer people. So this is a brag on the cheer guy. I will tell you that I went on one trip. I was hesitant to ride down with you. And
not because I was driving, right?
No, not at all. I thought it was going to be a delay. Do you know I was out and about eating at a restaurant, and one of your cheerleaders, they just come up and speak at, like, one time. And I will tell you the biggest thing, you'll enjoy this. So after the game, he feeds them state championship game, state semifinal game. They go and pick up their food and beverages. I think it was pizza and water. Do you know I was sitting down, and those came to me and said, "You're going to be first, Coach Brown." I was totally shocked. Here's the deal: before we eat, you're going to go first. And they have spoken to me, and even ones that I didn't even know. You try to know every student, but just great. You do a great job, and they're great. They're great kids.
Well, I appreciate it. They really are. They're great kids, and I know that a lot of people probably think that going with the cheerleaders is going to be loud and rambunctious, but they're great kids, and they represent our school that we work for really, really well. So yeah,
no, they slept the entire way till we got 10 minutes away from tip-off time. He said, "All right, 10 minutes out." Boom, they popped up. All right, hot seat. You're always the guy. Hot seat, hot seat, hot seat. I don't think being on the hot seat's a bad thing anymore, really, with your payout. But if you had to tell me coaches that you thought were going to enter, I've got the list in front of me from Lindy's, the temperature check, and you riding around your car, listening to us on Classic Hits 94.5 in Jackson, Alabama. I know that every single one of you probably has Kalen DeBoer on your hot seat. Now, I would like to know who is on your hot seat.
I would think Carolina's coach.
Are you going to give us a name?
Oh, they all run together.
Belichick?
The who shall remain unnamed.
Belichick?
No. Oh, you're talking about pro?
No.
Yeah, I think South Carolina. No, South Carolina.
Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer. Your hot seat. Cheer guy who's on your
but
hot seat.
I think North Carolina, too, yes.
We staying in conference.
No, we go all over.
Oh, Mike Norvell's got to be on it, right? Florida State.
If not hot, at least
It's at least simmering.
somebody's turning the burner on and it's warming up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on something.
Okay, so we're going through. You're going Shane Beamer. You're going Mike Norvell. You want to add anything to it? I'm going to throw a few out. You basically nailed it.
You're probably going to say my guy, but I'm going to throw him out. He's probably not on the hot seat, but I kind of wish he was. Little old Dabo.
I would put him,
Even
and
you-
even Lincoln Riley maybe.
All right, Lincoln.
I think Lincoln more so than Dabo.
USC not going to put up with not being successful for very long.
Yeah, Dabo's more of a creation of my own wanting than
You don't
probably.
you don't like Dabo.
Man, the stick is worn. It had been wearing thin. It's worn out on me now.
I'm with you. Now I'm going to throw one out.
I think he's a good man, and I think he's a great football coach. But
are you going to throw?
I think he's kind of like when Coach K finally figured out, hey, I got to start recruiting one and dones. I think Dabo's just about there to where he's finally got to figure out, okay, this is the modern game, and not only if I want to win, but if I want to keep a job, I've got to.
So you're saying
I've got to evolve
in a nice way. You're saying the game has passed him by. Close.
He's letting it pass him by on his own volition and his own choosing because he's being hard-headed and refusing to, quote unquote, get with the times.
He's stubborn.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna
to say the least.
He has Phil Fulmer in him.
I'm gonna throw. Phil Fulmer.
But I will say, if
Phil Fulmer's still holding the knife in his hand, by the way.
And Dabo's not. I'd say.
Oh, you saying Dabo took Tommy out?
I do.
Ooh, that's not a real hot take, but it's a take we hadn't heard in a while.
I've always thought that.
I think if this stuff in Congress passes, though, Dabo may be in a good position if you only get the one-time transfer, because that's what essentially he's kind of leaned in on, is he's not going to hit the portal every year. Well, if the portal kind of slowly starts going away,
Dabo's tries to out-coach everybody in an era where you need to out-recruit.
correct.
Yeah, it's the X's and it's the Jimmys.
It's always been the Jimmys and
Joes,
Joes,
not
but
the X's and
There's
O's.
always been that self-belief of I can coach him up. I can get a little bit more out of this guy than Coach B or C can. So I'm gonna not saying he doesn't work hard on recruiting, but I'm gonna stick to my standards and be the better man because I'm gonna outcoach them boys. And eventually 6'1" and 270 doesn't outcoach 6'3".
All right,
and
I'm going to
310.
throw one out there for Steve and everyone on Classic Hits 94.5, and because I grew up in the state of Alabama, and there are different expectations. There just are. You go Bill Curry. I was at the first time that Alabama came into Jordan-Hare Stadium. They were undefeated. They lost to the Tigers that day. I remember James Joseph and Stacey Danley, running backs for Auburn, in the end zone. It was the most incredible day that I've ever been a part of in sports.
I
Curry
always thought Curry was a sharp dude when he announced games. Even as a kid, I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I was wondering, why didn't he coach? Well, come to find out he did coach, but the natives got way too restless, and he said, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going home.
So with that, I'm going to tell you the voice impersonations. He'll be appearing one night only at the Sundown Tavern. That'll be John Tabor.
That's my worst Cartman impression.
Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. You look last year, the SEC title game, was it like 28-7 that Georgia defeated Alabama? And then the humiliation in the Rose Bowl, what was that final? Was it 38-3? So you look the SEC championship game, lost to Georgia, and then the loss to Indiana. So I'm asking for those listening on Classic Hits 94.5. You can text or call in 888-993-7762. Now, anywhere else in the country, he's not on the hot seat. But I'm saying at the University of Alabama, Kalen DeBoer is on a lukewarm hot seat. Would you agree or disagree with that? Good coach.
Yeah, good coach. Who you going to replace him with? I mean, Signetti, is he going to come?
Cristobal.
I mean, Dabo. They're not going to take Dabo.
I'm going to say, though, the Rose Bowl game, when Indiana goes on to win the national championship, I think that yes, it's an embarrassing loss. It is. But I think that the fact they went going into that game, I think that there were several people that thought Indiana was probably a little bit overhyped. And then I think that when they went through the college football playoffs and just were destroying everybody, I think that it validated the loss a little bit more.
Okay.
He's not Nick Saban.
I'm going to go with a different spin because I actually agree with what you're saying, what you just said, but you don't realize you said it. Most of the time when Alabama plays, if you're not an Alabama fan, and those listening on Classic Hits 94.5 in Jackson, Alabama know what I'm talking about, like there are times when you watch a game, and let's just say it's Tennessee and whomever. Somebody say, well, I don't have a dog in the hunt, but I'm pulling for Tennessee. Or you're watching Auburn play Florida State, and you're like, yeah, I'm pulling for Auburn. Or when you're an Alabama fan, when you're Alabama, no one's pulling for you to win the game except Alabama fans. But that night, that when they played Indiana, I felt like there were people that like, come on, Alabama, show us that Indiana is not real. Show us that is Hoosier, Bobby Knight territory.
Nope.
And quite frankly, it didn't happen.
That surprised me.
It didn't.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the win or the loss. It was not even just the amount of the score.
Wasn't competitive.
But physically watching man on man. And then granted, Indiana had the oldest team in the country.
They did.
And it showed.
But did it not shock you that Indiana manhandled Bama in that game?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The age difference showed. I mean, because Bama's, to me, their calling card has always been up front. On both sides. But we're going to grind you down offensively, and we're just going to bust through you defensively up front. That didn't happen.
I mean, you go back to, I'm going back to the days of watching the goal line
I
stand.
don't ever recall seeing.
No.
Not within, frankly, since before Saban.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to, I don't even know if you go back like Mike DeBose, his team push around. You can't go through all the Mikes.
Mike Price.
It's rolling, baby. One game.
Mike Shula.
Mike Shula was a savior for the program. Doesn't get the credit he deserved. Came in.
Sheila wasn't
Ray Perkins.
Sheila had a lot to clean up.
He did. Go back to Ray Perkins. Love your thoughts and opinions.
Bill Curry. He was an
undefeated.
offensive lineman if they wouldn't have thrown a rock through his freaking car.
Yeah, number 2 in the country. Love to hear from you at 888-993-7762. That is the Origin Bank hotline and text line. We're the 8 o'clock hour of the Nick Brown Show, brought to you by Adala Health PC. Check them out online. I'm going to grab another Pillowy Fluff Delicious Daylight Donut. We'll be right back after this break.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop.
Hey guys, the gals aren't the only ones that care about their look. Let Adrian Russell or Dara Davis at La Bella Salon give you just the right hairstyle. Need a massage? Mamie Lee is their massage therapist and can work out those sore, tired muscles. Go ahead, schedule an appointment today. Call La Bella Salon 202-5848. La Bella Salon, 105 Rules Drive, next to Skip Russell State Farm in Ruston. What are you waiting for? Now's a great time to give them a call. La Bella Salon, 202-5848. Walk-ins welcome.
Okay, so clearly the word is out about Country Pleasin' sausage. Thank you for helping make Country Pleasin' your go-to sausage on game day. From original to jalapeno and cheese, black pepper cheddar, even crawfish and pork, we can't get enough at Sports Talk 97.7, and it seems like you can't either. Check for Country Pleasin' at your local retailer, and for additional flavors, check them out at countrypleasin.com. That's countrypleasin.com.
Has your yard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind? Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
You know that chair you sit in for the game and somehow wake up in hours later? That's the Z-Cliner by FlexSteel. This isn't just a recliner, it's a sleep chair built for real comfort. The Z-Cliner smoothly reclines into a zero-gravity position, giving you the support you need whether you're watching the late game, taking a quick nap, or sleeping through the night. FlexSteel combines the comfort of a premium recliner with ergonomic support designed for long periods of rest, not just sitting. From your head and shoulders to your legs and lower back, the Z-Cliner is built to help your body relax the right way. It's perfect for movie nights, overnight guests, or anyone who wants the flexibility of a chair that truly does more. And because it's FlexSteel, you get durable craftsmanship, smooth motion, and lasting quality you can count on. Watch in it, relax in it, sleep in it. The FlexSteel Z-Cliner. Your seat, your sleeper, your comfort zone. Find it at FlexSteel retailers nationwide at zcliner.com/Dan Patrick.
Sports Talk, Southern Style, on the Nick Brown Show.
Well, welcome back to the Nick Brown Show. We'll go to the Preacher Guy. Not only does he pick up the Pillowy Pluck Delicious Daylight Donuts, he occasionally reads a text. I must tell you, though, I was really disappointed this week. The Ruston Bearcats added a game against West Point, Mississippi. And by the way, champions and runner-up in the state of Mississippi, Jared Ball's schedule, absolutely. It's the toughest it's got to be the toughest.
He said the Saints didn't have a bye week that week, so he had to fill it with somebody else.
The last bye week, the last Friday night that I've had off, and you those listening on Classic Hits 94.5, or those that are fans of the Troy Trojans, Troy played Missouri that night at Movie Gallery Stadium because we stopped. It was raining, miserable in Montgomery, Mount Meigs exit, to go watch Auburn play the next day. So I okay, now there's a bye week. I'm going to go watch Auburn play. And they send out the text that they're playing that. I texted Cheer Guy. I said, hey, Cheer Guy, you got one more game to cheer for. And I guess I'm going to have to cancel my Tennessee trip. He said, you didn't read the date. I said, what? So it is on a Thursday.
Oh.
So my trip to Knox Vegas is still, I've already told all administration I will be out of school that Friday. Now, just so you guys know that fear of missing out, you coming in, you own 2 shirts. Disney and any shirt sold by Tennessee, not in school colors, is all I see you wear. You go to Disney so much free, so I'm going to go to Disney over Christmas break.
Oh, and when's the last time you went?
Last year.
Oh, you're over here acting like you don't ever get to go and don't ever get to do anything fun, and you're like, last year.
Yeah. I did get to eat at the steakhouse in Canada last year. That was on the top. So, Tex rolling in this morning.
I wondered if the weather's affected Tex a little bit. Chuck had a follow-up about Bill Curry had success coaching his alma mater, Georgia Tech, in the 80s. I do remember that. And just talking about the higher expectations at Bama, which Ray Perkins and Bill Curry did not pan out. So just talking about the high expectations there, and Caleb DeBoer does have pressure. You know, Caleb got whipped on the line, so what do? They hired a new offensive line coach that's going to be coming in. And, man, I really think Keelan Russell could be maybe the surprise of the SEC. I personally hope sorry for listeners in Alabama, but I hope you feel the same way about Tennessee. You know, I'm okay if Alabama goes about 4-8 this year, but I really think Keelan Russell could just be the surprise. Last year we were looking at the experienced guys, LSU, Nussmeier. We were looking at Norris at South Carolina, and it ended up being other guys being the better quarterbacks. And I just think Keelan Russell's potentially really going to be a surprise. So I'm going to be shocked if Bama, worst case, isn't 10-2 this year.
10-2. We'll look at the schedule. We have Lynn Scarborough. He's going to join us at 9 this morning. Now, here is what is interesting when you look at Kalen DeBoer. And you talk about hot seat. He is 20-8. 9-4 his first year, 11-4 last year. 20 games won, only 8 lost. Oh, by the way, he's 12-4 in the SEC. That's not a hot seat anywhere but in the state of Alabama. And I'm reading from Lindy's magazine. By the way, Lindy says that Mike Norvell is flaming, scorching as Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, Mike Locksley at Maryland, Dave Aranda at Baylor, Shane Beamer at South Carolina, Lincoln Riley at USC, and hot Kalen DeBoer at Alabama.
Yeah, and I think that, obviously a lot of Alabama fans are still used to Nick Saban a little bit, and I think that what'd you say he was in the SEC 12-4?
12-4.
Yeah, nowhere else in the country is that getting you on the hot seat except for Alabama. And I think a lot of that is you're still looking back to Nick Saban. And I think that he's just having to adjust to this new, it's a different world where he's at now, and the recruitment is different and everything. But I think that it's going to end up, Alabama's going to get back where they want to be. They're not going away.
But they're not going away, but I just think it's going to be hard to be what you were. Texas is coming in. They're not going anywhere. A&M's got money out the gazoo. And, LSU's not going to be content. And it's just kind of like it's not going to be like the SEC in baseball, but there's going to be 6-7 programs every year they're expecting to be in the playoffs. So,
yeah, I definitely
and
think
with money out there,
yeah.
It's just going to be a lot tougher to do what Saban and Bear Bryant did when there was money, but not maybe on top of the table.
All right. Love to hear from you at 888-993-7762. Lynn Scarborough going to join us at 9 o'clock. Continue to talk a little college football, reading from the Lindy's National Edition and the Southeastern Edition as well. Don't want to jump right into college baseball, but we will talk a little bit of College World Series with Lynn Scarborough. But who is going to be that next Indiana? And when you look and you say, okay, what makes the next Indiana? Is it because just a traditional basketball school winning in football? I think that makes it difficult to swallow, or from the fact that from the Big Ten, but first-time champion. And looking through the landscape, who is it going to be? And of course, I have the list of scoping the nation through the top 25. 45th anniversary of Lindy's, by the way. 5 more years, I think. And I have talked to Lynn Scarborough about it. I said, you know what? Should make a digital copy that you could download, and also have one. You could download it to your iPad, download it to your computer, and have that. But who is due to win a national title? I think you're looking, is Oregon going to be the team that wins the national championship? I think I'm leaning, if you're going to have a non-SEC team win it, is it going to be the Oregon Ducks?
Yeah, could Illinois take a step? I think they were surprising last year how that physical on both sides of the ball. I don't know what they got coming back at quarterback.
They got the Fighting Brett Bielema. No, I just think there's always going to be.
I think they're happy being 9-3.
That's their ceiling. I think that is the ceiling in Champaign.
I think 10-2 is the ceiling.
Okay,
and I think
they can get into the playoffs.
I think he's made it where it's a 7-5 basement.
Once every 8 or 10 years, you can get a really good group. Kind of like when Turner won the Big Ten with what was it, Kurt Kittner?
Yes,
and Pierre Thomas was on that team.
I think we can rule out Texas Tech now. I think, though, too, in the SEC that could get that first one in a long, long time are Texas A&M and Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss has got a really, really good roster coming back. After this year, we'll see how it's maintained, but Lane set them up, and they've got a stout roster this year.
Oh, that's not Lane's doing. That's all Pete Golden.
That's all Pete Golden.
And I think A&M's got a stout roster.
But I think going back to what you said with Oregon, I think that Oregon's got a shot. They've got probably some of the most returners coming back. I know most of their defense is coming back. So I think that that's a good call of somebody that has they've been right there a few times, but just not quite been able to break through that ceiling recently. I think that Oregon, they have a legitimate chance and I think are going to be in a lot of those early preseason and early season polls, probably pretty highly ranked, if not at 1. And so I think that that's a justifiable answer.
Yeah, it's interesting because you talk about Pete Golden and you say that Lane Kiffin set him up. And I will tell you, There were times when everybody wanted Pete Golden out. Remember, he was a defensive coordinator at the University of Alabama. And then Lane Kiffin brings him to Oxford, Mississippi, a fresh start. By the way, the entire free world runs around Delta State because Pete Golden fighting Okra from Delta State, now leading the Ole Miss Rebels. But you look at the schedule of Ole Miss. And we have Lynn Scarborough going to join us at 9 this morning. Last year, of course, 13-2. This year, they open up. Just look at their schedule. Open up with Louisville in Nashville, Tennessee.
With what they got coming back, they'll win that game.
Okay, game number 2, Cheer Guy. How we normally do this, welcome in. I'm going to tell you the game, and you're going to predict whether it's a win or a loss. So Ole Miss opens up with Louisville.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem.
1-0. Then they have Charlotte.
Not a problem.
2-0. Then the game September 19th. All eyes will be on Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. LSU comes to town.
I think Ole Miss gets them at home. Ole Miss gets them early. Significantly, because I think that Kiffin is still going to be installing a lot of his stuff. And I think that also the fact that it's at Ole Miss, we've all seen that Kiffin gets a little emotional. And I think that could lead to some great bulletin board material for Ole Miss going into the week with a team that doesn't really need it. So I think I'm going to pick Ole Miss here.
Yeah, I would like it. I think early again, and I think with the QB advantage, he's very good. Now, what he'll do in the NFL, I don't know, but he is a very good college quarterback. So I would lean Ole Miss.
Okay, so you have Ole Miss 3-0, and they're traveling to Florida. You got is John Sumrall going to be Billy Napier 2.0, or is it going to be the John Sumrall from Troy and Tulane? And is this the ultimate trap game for Ole Miss? The emotion coming off, they're 3-0. They're making a trip to Gainesville. I've got Ole Miss defeating LSU, stumping their toe in the swamp, and falling to 3-1.
I was just about to say that. I think if they beat LSU, they lose to Florida. I think if they lose to LSU, Florida better get ready for a pretty bad whooping.
Who's Florida playing at quarterback? I mean, I just think, again, I think the edge at quarterback, I think Ole Miss will go in there and win.
Okay, so you've got Ole Miss at 4-0. We both have them at 3-1. Then they travel to Vanderbilt. There is no Diego Pavia. Clark Lee has done a very good job restocking that locker room. I don't think it's enough. I think Ole Miss goes into Nashville, Tennessee, and defeats Vandy.
Yeah, I think Vandy's going to have a little eye-opener. Diego was responsible for at least 3 wins last year, so I think there's going to be a little comeback to reality for Vandy.
All right, then they host Missouri. So right now, what we're talking about, if you just joined us on the Nick Brown Show, we're looking at the Ole Miss Rebels breaking down their season. Of course, we'll have Lynn Scarborough join us at 9 this morning, but I have them defeating Missouri. Preacher Man has them undefeated at 5-0. You and I have them at 4-1.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that they take care of Missouri.
Absolutely.
Or 5-1 and 6-0. Then they travel to Texas, the second loss of the season.
Yep, agreed.
First loss of the season.
Then they host Auburn.
They're going to win. I think Auburn is. I like Auburn's coach,
Alex Golesh.
I still just think
Russian-born.
I just think though, still that the advantage, running back, quarterback, wide receiver. I think Ole Miss will outscore them.
Okay, and then after Auburn, they host the Georgia Bulldogs.
No shot.
So we've got them. That's going to be their third loss on the year. You got them losing to Florida.
They're hosting them, right?
They're hosting, yeah.
Oh man,
Texas, Georgia.
I think it could go either way. Georgia's due. Yeah, okay, I'll pick Georgia. But it wouldn't shock me if Ole Miss beat them.
Then they travel to Oklahoma.
Oh, they're going to beat Oklahoma.
I agree. And then they have the Terriers of Wofford and Mississippi State.
They should be able to, I think, handle both of those.
So you're saying
10-2.
10-2. I'm saying 9-3.
I'm saying 9-3, but I think I could make an argument for 8-4.
So we have anywhere from 8-4 to 10-2. Love your.
I mean, in Oklahoma, that defense is solid. I got to see more out of Mateer in the offense. That defense carried them so much last year.
And Cheer Guy has them with 4 losses, and he talked about one being at Florida, Texas, And Georgia, I think the cheer guy has the Auburn Tigers going into Vaught-Hemingway and getting a victory.
I think they'll either drop that game or Oklahoma. I think they'll drop one of the two.
All right, cheer guy, moving up the depth chart here on the Nick Brown Show. Appreciate you listening. We're going to take a break. The 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Adala Health BC. We're going to take a break, grab a little more coffee. You listen to the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back.
Here's your weather forecast on this Saturday. We'll continue to see warm conditions. A few clouds will pass through the area with a high of 95. Mainly clear this evening with a couple of clouds that will come up from time to time with a low of 75. For your Sunday, the temperature will drop a little bit as we're looking for partly cloudy conditions and a high of 70 and a low of 72. And then on Monday, we will see a drastic change in our temperature. Also about a 90 to 100% chance of rain, a high of 77 and a low of 68.
You were an entrepreneur before you knew what an entrepreneur was. The boss of every stuffed animal in the toy box. The kid who had strategy and passion from day one. You ran a lemonade stand that actually turned a profit. Every day, Origin helps people like you who've always had the vision to see the full potential of any idea and make it happen. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
Member FDIC.
When Brownie buys bourbon, it's at the Keg Package. Operating since 1972, the Keg Package has been serving the Ruston and Grambling community for over 50 years. The Hightowers purchased the Keg in 2005 and built a new prime location in 2013 on the Tarbutton exit. They offer a wide variety of hard-to-find beer, wine, and liquor. They also have over 20 flavors of delicious frozen drinks. You can purchase Best Stop Boudin and sausage along with Louisiana Tech steaks. Come experience Divine Wine and the Keg Package.
Friends, this is Skip Russell, your #1 insurance agent in Ruston for the past 42 years. I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
Between school drop-offs, practice, and work, who has time to get sick? When your family needs medical care, don't press pause on your life. Adala Health Primary Care in Ruston is your ultimate health care game changer. We make family wellness easy with fast, comprehensive care, routine checkups, and school physicals. Our passionate team gets your crew back on track and back to your schedule without the hassle. Book instantly at AdalaHPC.com or call 318-551-4311 or visit Adala Health at 902 South Vienna Street today. Looking for country style that hits like a classic anthem? Meet Chasing Luna Clothing Company. It's ultimate gear for rowdy nights and backyard bonfires. Before you look us up, remember one thing. There is no G in chasing, just CHASIN. That's pure, unfiltered country attitude. We've got graphic tees, premium caps, and rugged outerwear. It's built for the folks who live out loud. Grab your gear online today at chasingluna.com. That is CHASIN Luna.com.
Get in the game. Now, back to the Nick Brown Show.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. And we're not a heartwarming, feel-good type of audience. So, like, I'll ask you then, since you watch it, you asked the question, and it was about the brothers from the state of Texas. What are their names again? I know they're from, what, Lucas, Texas?
Colby and Cade, and I'm drawing a blank on last name all of a sudden.
Yeah, Branch, Colby? And
Branch, yes, Branch.
So, the moment Oklahoma and Georgia played, and it's a feel-good moment, and you ask your heartwarming question. So I'll turn over to, like, we don't have a heart, Tabor and I, but we'll ask the cheer guy and the preacher guy the most heartwarming moment in sports that you've seen since you asked the question.
I'm going to go, I'm drawing a blank on a name once again. The Olympics.
30 years ago, 96, when Muhammad Ali lit the torch in Atlanta.
Okay.
With Parkinson's disease.
There you go.
That was pretty.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, I didn't know you had that in you. That is a very good, heartwarming moment. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, very good.
I was gonna go with the British sprinter that pulled his hamstring in the last part of, I believe it was the 400 meters, and his dad came out of the stands and carried him across, and like security's trying to get him off of the track, and he's like, "Nah, get out of here." And he literally helps carry his son across the finish line. I think that's got to be top 5 moments in sports. That's one of the ones that I always come back to.
Now, I didn't see it. Obviously, I wasn't born yet, but in seeing replays, I can't imagine when Lou Gehrig made his speech, like in the 50s, when he was having to step down and knew he had, ALS. That was just watching that was a pretty dramatic moment, just a replay of it.
Okay, very good. I will have to think about that just for a while. Interesting for Chuckopedia, ESPN's Kendrick Perkins is going to take a general manager role for Jackson State, so that should be interesting. Going to join a good list of players that have gone back to Shaquille O'Neal, Stephen Curry. So you got a lot of NBA players who are taking roles at college programs. Shaq went to Sacramento State. Curry went to Davidson. John Wall at Howard, and Damian Lillard at Weber State. So there you go. So Kendrick Perkins is going to be the general manager at Jackson State for men's basketball. So good for the Tigers. But love to hear from you at 888-993-7762. Lynn Scarborough going to join us this morning at 9.
Any U.S. Open interest at all?
I got a little bit. Sammy Burns is in the top 10 going into the day, so let's go. Maybe he can put 72 together, and sometimes he kind of gets stuck on Sunday at times. But
what is it? The guy in the lead, like, is that the guy that had the locker room meltdown last year?
Yeah, but the thing, when Clark's won a major before, in fact, I think he's won a U.S. Open, and when he's on his game, he's
tough.
He's top level, so I'm not
this
shocked.
This is a big lead for the U.S. Open too.
Yeah, but
you could lose it.
I think he's got a 4-shot lead. You can lose that on 2 holes real easy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, have you seen the thick cut?
Yeah,
it looks like my front yard.
We'd all be shooting like 100 over par playing this course.
Oh, that's what.
Okay, yeah, over par. Yeah.
Everyone, we would just.
I thought you were going to say shooting 100.
Like, no. You wouldn't shoot 100.
I was sitting here going, man, I'll take shooting 100 for.
I'll take shooting 100.
They're like. I think you're supposed to, courtesy wise, if you're going to be triple bogey, you pick up. So I'd just be picking up every hole.
Oh, for sure.
Pick up.
No, there will be snowmans.
And I think golf is the easiest sport as a casual watcher to sit there and go like, how do you miss that? And then you go out there to a course.
See, I'm the other way around. I'm mesmerized because I haven't played in a while, but I've played enough over the years to realize how difficult and just how good these guys and ladies are. And one thing I do like about the U.S. Open is it's so brutally tough more years than, the USGA. It's like, we're going to humble you this weekend.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's really the thing I think is the putting, because everybody, you grow up playing putt and everything else. And so you'll see a guy miss a 3-footer and you're like, how'd you miss that? But then you go onto a real golf course with good greens like that, and you go, that ball has got a mind of its own. Just like you said, like the fact that they can, from 200 and something yards off, put a little 1-inch ball within 3 feet of a target and just act like it's nothing is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's one of those sports where if you get a chance to ever go watch, a professional meet, you just, and these aren't a lot of times very big guys, and they're just cranking those balls, and just so accurate with it. So it is definitely impressive.
All right, I'll tell you what is really impressive. If you go through, did you see Jacob Mizorowski yesterday? You guys probably aren't following that in Major League Baseball, but he threw 47 pitches greater than 100 miles an hour, 101 or higher, 47 pitches, and he topped out at 104.
Does it say how many pitches he threw total?
I don't have the total. They ended up losing the game 3-2 to the Braves.
And also that, like, can you imagine as a manager, hey, your starter's going to go out there and throw 47 pitches over 100 miles an hour, and you're going to lose. Like, I mean.
So let me ask this, y'all understand baseball a little bit more. You know, it used to be a rare thing for somebody, honestly, you know, you threw between 95 and 100. That's pretty, you know, elite. I mean, you had your Nolan Ryan, and he's like, and what was his name? The big 6'8" Randy Johnson. But now it's just like you Sunbelt. I mean, teams will have 3-4 guys, you know, throwing 95 plus. Is it just been in athletic development, training, strength? I mean, some technique. I mean, you're just seeing guys left and right. And then the amazing thing is guys can hit it.
Also, I think a couple of things. Number one, yes, specialization, pitching coaches, and then also, too, that's all they do. And you go through, you mentioned that, you're talking about Sunbelt. We were over in the metropolis of Western Mississippi, and Parker Ishii hit 97. Now, he left the Copiah Lincoln Wolves, and he's going to play for Oklahoma next year. Gave up a hit to somebody that you and I both know. All four of us know, but it was a good hit single up the middle. But you're seeing that, like you go to Pearl River, you go to Mac Jack, you're seeing 94, 95. How long of a career these guys going to have? But by the way, Mizorowski was supposed to go to, he ended up going to a junior college, like Crowder Junior College, but he had committed, no, he's going to go to Oklahoma State, went to Crowder because he lost his 2020 senior year due to COVID, and was actually committed to LSU when the Brewers took him with a 53rd pick. So he was going to be pitching for LSU. But, yes, I think a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah, and the same deal in softball. You know, it used to be rare to see 70, and now
if you're
it's becoming more and more common that you're seeing girls hit 70.
No, I think a lot of it, just like you guys kind of said, you know, specialization, and then also, I mean, kids these days are just starting at such a young age and doing it, I mean, essentially almost like a full-time job. I mean, you're talking professional baseball players where, I mean, even them in professional levels were working part-time jobs probably in the early 70s.
And here's the thing, too. You have strength trainers. You have a better weight program than what you've ever had as far as going through. So, yeah, you're going to be bigger, faster, and stronger. With that, bigger, faster, and stronger, I'm going to refill the coffee cup because coffee makes you bigger, faster, and stronger. And we're going to bring in Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine when we return with more of the Nick Brown Show.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor Jeremy Hebert, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Start by giving me a call at 318-251-9200.
Member SIPC.
You were an entrepreneur before you knew what an entrepreneur was. The boss of every stuffed animal in the toy box. The kid who had strategy and passion from day one. You ran a lemonade stand that actually turned a profit. Every day, Origin helps people like you who've always had the vision to see the full potential of any idea and make it happen. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
Member FDIC.
Sexton Animal Health Center in Ruston serves your pet and you, providing high-quality pet health and wellness services to assist your pet in living a longer, happier, and healthier life, and providing you with access to leading-edge products, services, and educational content to enhance the bond with your pet. Sexton Animal Health Center is a full-service veterinary medical facility, providing the best possible medical, surgical, digital radiology, and dental care for their patients. And ask about pet daycare and boarding, too. Sexton Animal Health Center, 1628 East Kentucky in Ruston. Become a friend on Facebook to receive the latest news and updates.
Between school drop-offs, practice, and work, who has time to get sick? When your family needs medical care, don't press pause on your life. Adala Health Primary Care in Ruston is your ultimate health care game changer. We make family wellness easy with fast, comprehensive care, routine checkups, and school physicals. Our passionate team gets your crew back on track and back to your schedule without the hassle. Book instantly at AdalaHPC.com or call 318-551-4311 or visit Adala Health at 902 South Vienna Street today.
You know what that sound means. It's time for the Pillowy Pluff Delicious Daylight Donut. Go visit them at 108 Monticello Avenue in Ruston, just north of I-20. They're open Monday, 5:30 to 10:30 a.m., Tuesday through Friday, 5:30 to 11:30 a.m., and on Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 12. Daylight Donuts of Ruston, proudly supporting the Nick Brown Show for the last 10 years. Ask for a wedding cake-filled donut. It's a Nick Brown Show favorite.
Has your yard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind? Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
Saturday morning. Thanks for tuning in to the Nick Brown Show. On the air, online, and free app.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show, the Nick Brown Show Network. You hear that fight song where you know that we're going to the only person from Rock Creek, Alabama to watch World Cup soccer. That is Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine. Good morning, Lynn. How are you?
Hey, Nick. Good morning. And who knows? You might be telling the truth on that.
Oh, I am. I'm definitely.
I can tell you that, 60 or 70 years ago when I was growing up, I don't know of a soccer fan. And, but I'll tell you what, it's interesting. I know I was watching the Haiti game when you and I were exchanging messages. I bet I watched an hour of two different games. I thought before, I didn't really think this technically, but to me, soccer has always just been a bunch of guys go out onto an expanded field and run around and kick a ball. And that's not very much, scientific or planning about that. So I decided I was going to try to learn something about the strategy of the game, but I have no desire to go take a course in soccer, to take a soccer class, to ever practice soccer. Even though somebody is a cancer patient on a walker, he can go be very much of a soccer player. But I've kind of started seeing some strategy, but the problem just rules I don't know. Like it looks to me like in soccer, almost the same as in ice hockey, that every time some players get close to each other, somebody is going to knock somebody down. It either looks like on purpose or accidental, and they don't ever call. They gave a yellow card. I guess that's kind of like a penalty flag being thrown or something. They gave a yellow card to one of the Haiti players, and they showed a replay of what had happened. And so I thought, okay, I see that, but it wasn't a minute later that somebody else did the same. To me, it looked like the same thing, and they didn't flag anything. They started just let it go on. So I don't understand the penalty part, and I don't understand. Y'all may know, is it true that out of, I think you got like 10 players out there at a time, some of them have to stay on one side of midfield? Can all of the players run down on one end if the other team wants them to?
No,
I know that might be.
I believe that they can go anywhere on the field. They just can't. If you're on offense, you can't be the furthest person down the field, or you're offside.
You can't snowbird. You know how in basketball, whenever they wanted Lynn Scarborough to score a layup, and so they had 10 people on one side of the court, and you left and went to the other end? You can't snowbird, basically. For the easiest reference, you can't snowbird in soccer.
Okay. Well, that adds me something there. I don't know. I have no plans to watch a game today. If it happens to be on, I might. It wouldn't be during the College World Series game. But we're getting to the point now in the year when the sports that I'm really interested in and the sports that Lindy's covers extensively aren't being played much right now. And Major League Baseball is, and of course, we got the top Major League Baseball magazine in the country. But and I don't do fantasy baseball or fantasy football, and we've got great fantasy magazines, but I don't do the fantasy teams. So it's kind of a lull period for me. It's been about it's been a little over a week since we got the Big Ten magazine done. We got sample copies of it. But it's now getting into a little bit of a lull period for Lindy's, if there is such a thing as a lull period for Lindy's.
All right, I'm going to jump into Lindy's because I did receive the 3 magazines. Excellent as well. I mean, always the pictures are great, and I have been going through the magazine feverishly, and this one really caught my eye. I went to the 20th toughest schedules of 2026, and I thought, you know what, this is pretty neat. You look, Ryan Silverfield left the University of Memphis, and he got the job at the University of Arkansas. And we have a lot of listeners in the state of Arkansas. The Nick Brown Show, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. And some people weren't happy about Silverfield being the choice. A lot of people thought it might be Alex Golish, who got the Auburn job. And you look at his head coaching record in college. He's 50-25. He's taking over for the very popular Sam Pittman. But now you look at the schedule, like maybe, Ryan, you should have stayed in Memphis one more year. He guided Memphis, again, to the 50-25 record. He was 19-6 his last 2 years in Memphis. But Arkansas's schedule, Lynn, one of the toughest in the country.
It's a killer. It's absolutely a killer. But here's the thing. You got SEC teams that aren't even in that top 20 that have killer schedules. I mean, when you're in the SEC in most any sport, but particularly in football, it's gonna be a killer. But you can look, and there are teams, and I'm gonna prepare this soon. I give some speeches or presentations to civic clubs before the start of the season. There are some teams, I'm not going to start going over them now, but that get a really good break on the schedule. And I was looking at, there's some teams that I think are going to be competitive on the national scope. Kind of like we've seen some SEC teams sometimes that have had the luck of the schedule, and then they go to the SEC championship and get blown out. I think you got some teams that are going to have some really good records that that haven't really studied the schedules yet. We talk about always it's who you play, when and where do you play them, and that's more important really than how good your team is. If you're not playing teams that are as good, and I think we got some teams around the country this year that are going to have maybe better records than you think because of the schedule giving them a benefit.
I'm jumping in and talk with Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine. You check out, we're talking about the Arkansas Razorbacks this morning. We went through Ole Miss schedule a little earlier during the show, and the magazines are absolutely phenomenal. I recommend you purchasing 2 of them. The price is still low. How you guys are doing it, not going up in price. Now, of course, I'm a Southeastern guy, but I really think if you're just going to get one, get the National Edition, but I recommend getting both of those. But looking at the Arkansas Razorbacks, they put the Lions of North Alabama. Certainly hope they can start this year off with a win. And then all of a sudden you go to Utah, host Georgia, host Tulsa, travel to Texas A&M, Tennessee, at Vandy, Missouri, host Missouri, at Auburn, host South Carolina, at Texas, host LSU. Lynn, I look over this schedule, I say, okay, North Alabama, yeah, they're going to win that one. Tulsa is not bad. Missouri,
Tulsa's not bad, but they do play them in Fayetteville, don't they?
That is correct.
Yeah, I would take them to beat North Alabama and Tulsa.
South Carolina?
Where?
In Fayetteville.
It's a toss-up.
And you really, you look a lot of positive feedback coming back. Quint, not an Auburn show. You get a lot of positive feedback from the national media about the quarterback that came over, Byron Brown, came over from South Florida with Alex Golish. I think a lot of that hinges upon how well he plays, what Auburn's going to be like. But you look at that trip to the Plains on November 7th, and I'm looking, okay, let's just take Auburn, Vandy, South Carolina, Tulsa, North Alabama. Those are the ones that are 50-50 going in.
And that'd still just be 5 wins.
That's
still going to be bowl eligible. I don't see Arkansas being bowl eligible this year. I hate that for Arkansas. I'm a quasi-Arkansas guy, and I do have a rubber pig nose that I've worn from time to time. So, I don't have that great big plastic pig hat, but I do have the pig nose. But I don't see Arkansas having a great season. We've got them picked last in the conference, and I think that the fact that they're coming off not a great year, and that they've got the schedule that you named is the reason we've got them in that position.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough one for Ryan Silverfield in year one in Fayetteville. We're talking with Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine. Lynn, and I talked earlier, and, you do a section on the magazine, Coaches on the Hot Seat. And, there's some that are legitimately, you look on the hot seat, Mike Norvell at Florida State. We totally get that from the year. They were excluded from the playoffs. You look at Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, Mike Loxley, how do people really feel about Maryland football? Dave Aranda at Baylor, man, the success that he had early. But then at the bottom of that list, I know he's Shane Beamer, and that's one we'll talk about a little later, maybe a week from now. But at the bottom, Kalen DeBoer, you go back, and I mentioned to our listening audience this morning, the most intelligent audience in all of sports radio. You can't really explain it, but in 1989, Bill Curry brings Alabama into Jordan-Hare Stadium. They're undefeated, and they drop the game to Auburn. And I use this as a preface because Kalen DeBoer is on the list of a temperature check hot seat. Lynn, he's won 20 games, lost 8, and 12-4 in the SEC in 2 years, yet his name is listed among those on the hot seat.
Yeah, there's a lot of Alabama fans that are not excited about DeBoer. There has been several games that they've won that they probably should not have won in his time there. And he has had a lucky break on the schedule in some degree. With some teams he has avoided. He's avoided playing. And for them to be left out of the playoff, and to have 8 wins, it means you're losing 4 games a season. How many years has it been since Alabama lost as many as 4 games in back-to-back seasons?
Yeah, that's 2.
20. Yeah. 20 years. Well, 20 and 8 is a good record, but when you've got basically a fan base that feels entitled, and they're losing 4 games a year, that means you're averaging 8 to 9 wins a year. That's good enough for some places, but it's not good enough for Alabama. And I see them losing 2 or 3 games this year, but again, they've got a schedule that gives them a chance to be back there. We've got them number 11 in the country, so we got them outside the top 10. No, we did not make the decision to leave them 11 instead of 10 because on the front page on the front cover of the magazine, we show the top 10, regardless of where they are in the country. And I had an Alabama person say, "Oh, you just had them at number 11, so you wouldn't have to put it on the front cover." Well, that's definitely not true.
I'll go back. You're right. 2007. Now, if you go look at the official record, it's going to say 2-6, 1-4. That is the year actually Alabama made their way over to the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. You look at that. That was a year they were actually 7-6, 4-4 in the league, and the NCAA ruled that Alabama would vacate 21 victories due to sanctions stemming from textbook-related infractions. Boy, where we are today in college today, we would love to have a textbook infraction because that meant people were actually using the textbooks or at least selling them. But then after 2007, lost 2 in 2008, none in 9, 3 in 10. You go through. No, Nick Saban didn't. The most they lost was 2 in 23, 2 in 22, 2 in 21, none in 2020, 2 in 19, 14 and 1. So you're right. 4 losses a year is not the standard at the University of Alabama.
No, and those, Alabama fans, while, and I know we got a lot of them in this audience, but they are. If you want to look for an audience that is entitled and feels like they should get every break and feels like everything should go their way, it's the Alabama audience, and it hadn't been going that way. And he's had 8 losses. I could name you 2 or I could name you 3 that he probably should have had, which would make him at 17 and 11. You think he was on a hot seat with 8 losses? What if he had lost those? So it's I understand them not being real happy, and hey, and we're Lindy's is in Birmingham, and I live at Lake Martin, and go to church and work with Alabama families and Alabama fans, and I understand their discontent, and he's not on the hot seat like some of those guys you said, but let them have a third 4 or 5 loss year in a row, and let's see if you start hearing some of it.
All right, I get a kick out of this. So I was on Twitter, which is now called X, and you actually have an account that you don't ever tweet. But it was interesting because it came out, somebody said, finally, we've got a College World Series final that doesn't have an SEC team. And I went back and I said, hey, Yakbone, Oklahoma's in the SEC. And so I don't know why people just don't think of Oklahoma being in the Southeastern Conference, but they indeed are. But Oklahoma now representing the league facing the Tar Heels of North Carolina.
Yeah, will this be 7 years in a row that the SEC's won it if they beat the Tar Heels?
No, because Coastal won it. What year did Coastal win it?
That was one.
That's been 10 years ago now.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Cheerman, be useful. Get us the Cheerman's working on that, so we'll let you know. But Oklahoma and
I think Lynn's right. I think this potentially will be 7.
Be 7 in a row. And the thing is about it is that it's 5 or 6 different teams. It's not like the.
I think LSU's the only team with 2 in that stretch.
Yeah. And you got always go.
You got Ole Miss, you got State, you've got Tennessee, you've got LSU twice.
Oregon State won in 2018. Since then, it's been SEC.
So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
But you got to take out the COVID year.
So 7 in a row. Lynn was right.
Okay, so this will be 8 then.
This will be 8 if Oklahoma wins it. Yes.
If Oklahoma wins it, yeah.
We did it.
And I kind of, I think North Carolina will probably win it. Oklahoma was not. I mean, Oklahoma's a good team, but they weren't that good.
Yeah, but they are white. They are white hot.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
haven't been watching. They look really good versus Georgia.
North Carolina's pitching is stout.
Take at the time when they had played, when you had played 3/4 of the SEC schedule, where was Oklahoma?
They were. Yeah, they were near the bottom, weren't they?
Well, I think they finished 9th. Is it? It's middle of the pack.
Something like 9th or 10th.
Yeah,
and
middle of the pack.
They draw playing at number 2 Georgia Tech. So you look at the body of their work for the year, and then they got to go play Georgia Tech. I mean, man, the fact that this is an unlikely scenario for me that Oklahoma's playing for the championship.
Well, I will tell you, I'm going to ask your opinion. More shocking that Alabama went 2-Q or Ole Miss? I was expecting more out of how dominant Ole Miss was on the Plains. I thought they would make a little noise in Omaha, but did not. Alabama, I guess I'm answering my own question, and now I'm asking you: were you more shocked that Ole Miss or Alabama didn't win a game in Omaha?
Well, I guess Alabama. Here's the thing: it's not just that Alabama lost; it wasn't even competitive. I mean, they got beat 23-2 in 2 ball games. They got shut out, and then the game they finally actually scored, they gave up 14. It's the worst that any team. I apologize if I'm wrong, but I think it's what it is. The worst that any team has done at the College World Series in the last 70 years. They get beat 23-2 to get massacred. It was embarrassing. And so yeah, I think it's them. Mississippi, and the thing is, Mississippi wasn't dominant with Auburn. I think they won 5-3 and 6-4 or something like that. I mean, they won, but Alabama on their home field. Now Alabama got a gigantic advantage. St. John's won their region, and not St. John's basketball. Rick Pitino's team did not come play. This is the high point in program history for St. John's baseball was getting to come play in Tuscaloosa and get beat by double digits. So Alabama had massacred their region, but I was surprised that Alabama lost both games. But what surprised me more, Nick, was the magnitude to which they got defeated.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I think the thing on Oklahoma, all but two of their, batters are underclassmen. There's only two seniors, and then their three stud pitchers in the playoffs are freshmen. So I think it took them a while to kind of develop, get together, and it's why they didn't perform as good in the SEC. But I know Tennessee played them the last weekend of the series and beat them 2 out of 3. But that was the best up and down the lineup hitting team I saw. They got beat one game against us, and they had 17 hits, but they had 5 runners thrown out on base. So It was like up and down that lineup, those guys all were solid. It wasn't like an easy out in that lineup. So I thought just the way they hit the ball with the matchups they had, I don't know that I didn't expect this, but I thought they had a chance to get to the College World Series.
Well, it was, beating Georgia Tech at home was tough. I've covered games at Georgia Tech, and it's a good place for home field advantage for those guys. But that I've seen in a long time, I have to think if anybody is Georgia. Now Georgia's stud hitters went out to Omaha and kind of went belly up. But you go for the regional and the regular season, and it's been a long time since you've had a team that had that many hitters batting over 300 and had that many hitters hitting 20 or more home runs. And so I'd said it on this show, I thought Georgia was going to win it because they had decent pitching and they had the best hitting team I'd seen. And that didn't turn out being the case when they got to Omaha.
All right, talking with Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine. One thing I do want to give you a chance to brag on in the state of Alabama, you have to look at all the athletic departments across the country at the ESPN-created term mid-majors. You look at Troy, they made it to Omaha, so they made it to the baseball playoffs. Their men's basketball team went to the NCAA tournament, and football team went to a bowl game. So things are certainly going well over in Troy.
Yeah, the Troy Trojans. Hey, and Jacksonville State. Look at how they did in various sports this year too. So your quote lesser programs in the state of Alabama are doing extremely well. As we had talked earlier, you had 4 SEC teams in the NCAA baseball tournament, and that was right up there with the top.
All right. Well, Lynn, we certainly have enjoyed visiting with you this morning. Thanks for the magazine's great job as usual.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And I want to plug Nick Brown did a story on the state of Florida football that's in all of our magazines that were distributed in the state of Florida. Appreciate our writers. They do great work, and glad to have Nick Brown's byline in Lindy's again this year.
Hey, a question for you. The one for Georgia that you sent me, I met that guy. So that's just in the Georgia edition. Where can I read his?
Are you talking about Guy Millett?
Yes. Is it in?
Guy Millett. I said, Guy. If I've got a copy of that one on inventory, I'll send it to you. I don't know, Nick, that I can because I don't know that I've got an inventory copy of that. But it's in every magazine sold and distributed in the state of Georgia. It's in the Atlanta Falcons magazine. It's in the Georgia Bulldog edition for Southeastern. It's in the National College edition with Georgia and Georgia Tech. Same way that the piece that you did is in the Pro magazine for the Dolphins, for Tampa Bay, for Jacksonville, for the college edition for Florida, for the national college edition for Miami, Florida State, and Florida. So those state editions get wide coverage in those states and the border states around them. So that's, and then of course we got the state of Alabama that we do in addition for the state of Alabama. I'm in charge of all three of those. I get the writers for those and the majority of the advertising, and it's we've been doing those three states for a number of years. If we can get larger amount of sales, I'd love for somebody to tell me they'll go get enough sold in the state of Louisiana that we do Louisiana insert, but at this point, we don't have that.
So the magazine that I'm reading, the national edition, that is the one is only sold in the state of Florida. So is there not like a nationwide, like if someone went to a store that stays open 24 hours, let's just say a big superstore, Walmart type, to buy their copy of Lindy's, what national edition would they be purchasing?
Where is it?
In Louisiana.
Oh, they'd have the one with LSU, Arkansas, I think Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I think we got those four teams on a national. Here's the thing.
So my article wouldn't be in there, though, is what you're saying.
That's correct. Nor would the state of Alabama articles, nor would the state of Georgia articles. All the rest of it, Nick, would be the same. But the stories about those teams in those states are different in the national edition.
So you're telling me that all right, no, I'm not going to let you go this easy then. Here, I'm going to ask a question for you. Since you do this and you do all the ads and you have to go, by the way, you've changed your queso ad and now I've got to find a new queso. So I don't know if you sold this.
We didn't change the ad. Gordo's was our partner for years.
Right.
They tragically had some deaths and some health issues within that company, and so that category is now filled by International Gourmet Products. I appreciate the chance to promote that. International Gourmet Products. The brand name for theirs is El Preferido. Has the Mexican name to it. And if you will look at the Keeping the Faith feature in this edition, it gives me a chance to plug that. We have a Christian-related feature every year in our college and pro publications. And we're proud to do it. We're the only publication that I know of in the country that does this. And El Preferido basically sponsors that. And if you'll look on the Keeping the Faith feature, their logo is up in the top right of the page, and the page opposite that is a Christian-based ad that is supported by El Preferido. So we're still doing great cheese dip, still a great product for tailgates, for parties, for cooking, but we appreciate the fact that they've got an emphasis on the right kind of things and have become a sponsor for us for just in general, but also for the Keeping the Faith.
All right, now that's going to lead to the question. So you're glad you talked about El Preferido. I'm going to try that queso this weekend. Here's the thing. You mentioned if we sold enough ads in the state of Louisiana, we could have a Louisiana insert. And all John Tabor says every Saturday, every Wednesday, you hate Louisiana. Okay, that is not the truth, but where are we selling more? And we, since, I wrote an article, I can now say we. So where do we sell more copies? What state buys the most copies of Lindy's magazine?
I hadn't seen the numbers on that in the last couple of years. It's going to be Florida, Texas, probably then Alabama. And we sell more in the Southeast. Probably every state in the Southeast sells more on average than every state everywhere else. You don't sell them as well in New England. And you don't sell as well on the West Coast. We used to do a Pac-12 edition. Of course, that's back when there was a Pac-12. And we at the time, Nick, when we did the Mountain West edition, we sold more Mountain West copies than we did the Pac-12 copies in the state of Oregon, Washington, and California. It's just parts of the country, just aren't into the traditional sports, and we get into my politics, but you could sort of determine whether they're red states or blue states, and what their emphasis is on things based on that. And Texas, Florida, Alabama, Georgia sells a lot. Of course, I'm naming states that we do do the state editions. And it's not that we don't sell many in Louisiana. I mean, we're selling thousands of them in the state of Louisiana. Just not enough where it would justify the cost to have to do another special edition for another state. You've got to be smart, and if you print things or do projects and they lose money, then don't do them multiple times. After you've lost money a couple of times, you need to be smart and keep doing the ones that are being profitable, so that you can keep making doing a good job overall in what you do. And we've been blessed to be able to do that.
Okay, well, I'm just shooting off the cuff here, but you actually could save money. Lindy's could save money if it was just the national edition that I bought in Ruston, Louisiana is the same one that I bought in Jackson, Alabama. Or if I went to Pensacola Beach and I bought one, would it be not just easier to have one national edition? I know it would be easier to have one national edition and one Southeastern edition.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess it'd be easier, but it wouldn't be giving the readers, the state of Florida, the state of Georgia, Alabama, and I could make a case for Texas. It's just that, we have a small staff, as you know, and it would probably fall on me to do it. And with my health situation right now, I don't need to add the state of the largest state in the union, Texas, other than Alaska, of course. I don't need to add that to my plate right now. And we're doing pretty well as we're doing. But right now, the only other state that I would advocate us doing a special edition for will be the state of Texas. And I don't foresee, being realistic about what Lindy's staff is right now, I don't see us doing that.
Well, Lynn, as always, I appreciate you joining us. We tell everybody to go out and get the magazine. You can find it. If they cannot find it and they want the magazine, they can go to the website and order it. That's correct?
That's correct. Or call Lindy's. We've got a toll-free number, or just get the number of the magazine. The number out the front of the magazine. Call Lindy's office and place the order, or go on the website and place the order. Let me say this though: we don't keep an unlimited inventory of magazines. I mean, we know basically from past experience about how many we sell. We sell thousands of them, either through the internet or through call-ins. But if you do have an interest in getting those publications or any of the publications, if you're from the state of Pennsylvania and you live in Mississippi, buy the Big Ten edition with Penn State on the cover. But you're going to have to do it either online or call in Lindy's.
Where did you have? Did you have a house on Lake Lanier in Georgia?
Yeah, we did.
We
lived, you know where Flowery Branch is,
right?
Okay, we were between. Really kind of Oakwood, but yeah, we were not in the city limits of Flowery Branch, but we were in that area.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is since now we've been going down a rabbit hole on El Preferido Queso. They're based out of Cumming, Georgia. So there you go.
Forsyth County, based out of Forsyth County, and they're a big national player. It's a very substantial company. Their products are good. So anybody, and I'd say anybody that's having trouble finding it, you might want to contact El Preferido. And hey, and if you do, please tell them that you got the lead through Lindy's.
Oh, that without a doubt, that's what I'm doing right now. Well, Lynn, as always, get ready for the rain that's headed your way. Tell Cindy hello, and look forward to talking to you again next Saturday.
We'll do it, guys. Talk to you soon.
That was Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine. I'm going to try that. El Preferido Queso was Gordo's for years. We're going to take a break, but I must tell you this. The Cheerman's doing all the research. That's what he does. All 6 of your starting pitchers used by teams in the College World Series final as Oklahoma and Carolina. By the way, they were high school recruits. So there you go. You listen to The Nick Brown Show, The Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back after this break.
Nick Brown for All Hours Fitness Ruston. In Ruston, life doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, neither should your goals. Welcome to All Hours Fitness Ruston, your 24/7 destination for strength, health, and a better you. We've just grown. Enjoy over 15,000 square feet of premium equipment, outdoor training, and live classes. With our exclusive ladies-only area, cryotherapy, red light therapy, massage bed, and tanning, we've taken away every excuse. Locally owned, built for life. Join the family at All Hours Fitness Ruston today.
Friends, this is Skip Ruston. For the past 42 years, I want you to know that I would be proud to be your insurance agent. Come by and check out our new lower rates on automobile insurance. Call us at 255-5050 or come by our office at 105 Reynolds Drive in Ruston. That's behind Wendy's and Captain D's. Thank you.
Guy from Georgia, because he emailed me, he got a copy of my article. He's like, man, that's great.
Make family wellness easy with fast, comprehensive care, routine checkups, and school physicals. Our passionate team gets your crew back on track and back to your schedule without the hassle. Book instantly at AdalaHPC.com or call 318-551-4311 or visit Adala Health at 902 South Vienna Street today.
Provision Security, preserving your past, protecting your future. Cameras, doorbell cameras, systems you can control all from your smartphone. Security systems with low monthly monitoring starting at $14.99. Provision Security is more than security. Sound systems, hanging your flat screen TV, speakers in your ceiling, even Wi-Fi systems. Provision Security, 314 East Georgia in Ruston. Call Michael at 773-3703. Check him out on Facebook. Provision Security.
Homes Plus.
This is Brandon Kraft, General Manager at Homes Plus. Are you tired of your rent going up or paying someone else's bills? At Homes Plus, we are North Louisiana's land and home specialist, so come in and see us today so that we can show you how to own for less than renting.
Get the plus. Homes Plus.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages. 11 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop.
Sports Talk, Southern Style, on the Nick Brown Show.
Nick Brown Show Network, or Preacher Man, have a text to get through about, we were talking about why people are able to throw so much faster.
Said weight training is the biggest reason. What we see in baseball now, that in nutrition, not including steroids, as recently as the 70s, baseball coaches considered weight training or lifting taboo. They actually discouraged it.
Yeah, I guess they did. I remember lifting weights early in the high school career of you mentioned steroids. Okay, and I'm saying not advocate the views of the Nick Brown Show, do not represent anybody anywhere with a pulse other than myself. But if there is something that can give you an advantage, does the end outweigh the means? I mean, you go back to human growth hormone. You want to turn back the hands of time. Like, is there a whole, I was reading about Pete Rose and all these guys, and you go back to amphetamines. There's always been, you started the show with your heartwarming story. The other day, we were talking about great, because why I wore number 3. So we go down to Nicholls State on a recruiting visit, and in the coach's office, he's got Dale Murphy's jersey, and jersey number 3. And I said, oh, Dale Murphy. And then we talked about Dale Murphy, then Harmon Killebrew for the Twins, why the head coach wears number 33, 3 for Killebrew, 3 for. And I'm talking about, jersey numbers. And I wore number 3 for the Jets, coached by Gaines McCorkadale. I wore number 1 for the losing Lions. Now, the crazy thing about all these guys get T-shirts every year, we had the same jersey. So when I was 9, it fit. When I was 12, it did not. But I mentioned Babe Ruth and jersey number 3, George Herman Ruth. And immediately, like, what I think about athletes and what my children think about athletes are totally different. Like, if you are flawed, if you have problems, I still like you. And I'm like, Babe Ruth, the greatest. And my kids are like, Dad, he was a horrible person. I'm like, guys, he was not a horrible person. He grew up in an orphanage. Well, Dad, that doesn't give you an excuse to be an alcoholic womanizer. And I'm like, Brett, you're 14. You should not be using the term alcoholic womanizer. You're 14 going on 40. And then the older one says, yeah, Dad, he's right. He's a terrible person. Like, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to show you guys that you guys are totally wrong. Then you go to Wikipedia that knows everything. During Ruth's career, he was a target of intense press and public attention for his baseball exploits and off-the-field penchants for drinking and womanizing. There are players that, like, I guess that should bother me. We have the preacher man in here today. But, like, to me, like, the legend that is George Herman Ruth, Babe Ruth. And I just get this because uniform number that make you like just a horrible person. Then you go read about Ty Cobb. I guess maybe this is therapy for me this morning. Why am I attracted to players that have a not so squeaky clean image?
But you have to remember, when you were a kid, you couldn't just find that information out.
Like my
like
parents
your
never
kids.
mentioned womanizing alcoholic.
Well, and they may not have known, because it was one of those things that unless you read that article in the paper when it came out, like, you didn't see it. It's not like it was running on the 24-hour news channel and people weren't putting it on X and Facebook and Instagram and everything else. So it's not literally all you saw was how he played baseball.
And as big as newspapers were back then, and what an audience and probably money Yankee boost about it, but they're like, do we really want to push this?
Yeah, do we really want to, tarnish our white knights' shiny armor here? So I think that it's just a different day and age.
And now, if it's negative, let's run it. They want something negative,
even if it's not true and it's negative. Let's run it.
Yeah.
All right, love to hear from you.
They don't like the feel-good stories like you're talking about.
It's interesting when you go to the inaugural class of Hall of Fame in baseball, and that's where I would like to go. I know it would be probably boring. I'm a little jealous of these church mission trips that they go on, and then all these people that really aren't into sports, the church mission trips takes a trip to Cooperstown. Like, I get it, and this makes me a horrible person, but had they shared with that when they were asking people to go on the mission trip, I might have volunteered to go. They did not mention we're going to I know that makes me a horrible person, but had they said that, perhaps I would have gone on the mission trip.
You would have felt that little tug in your heart.
Yeah, like Randall Elliott has been to Cooperstown. He probably never got past T-ball. And anyway, and by the way, those not listening, Randall Elliott is a coworker of ours that is smarter than both of us, teaches physics. But anyway, interesting, Ty Cobb, Honest Wagner, Christy Matheson, and Walter Johnson and Ruth, the inaugural class, Ruth was the only one that wasn't asked to manage a team. So, like, are you drawn to flawed individuals? You go Brett Favre. I mean, you go through.
I prefer them not to end up as flawed individuals. That if they knew they were flawed, and I don't give a rip, and they just stay that way, it's hard to yell for them. But if they recognize it and try and fight through it, work through it, or overcome it, or whatever, yeah, I can pull for somebody. I can give somebody, there's a point, there's certain lines you cross where, like, okay, yeah, I can't cheer for you. I hope you get your life straight, but but for the most part, yeah.
Like betting on the unders on your own team.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And I am glad. I think he recognized that everything he did was going to be under such a microscope this year. Every pick he threw, every fumble he had.
I knew he wasn't going to play.
I think it made sense for him to go on.
He got the Greg Schiano treatment.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, love to hear from you.
Times 100.
Love to hear from you at 888-993-7762. You listen to The Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We'll be right back after this break.
I'm hashing over an ethical dilemma, so I think I could use some black coffee.
Of course, you can get black coffee and all your favorite coffee beverages at the Depot Coffee Shop. The Depot Coffee Shop is located at 211 West Railroad Avenue in downtown Ruston. The Depot Coffee Shop is coffee with a cause. The Depot Coffee Shop is open Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 3. Call in your order at 232-7084 or visit the Depot Coffee Shop.
Hey guys, the gals aren't the only ones that care about their look. Let Adrian Russell or Dara Davis at LaBella Salon give you just the right hairstyle. Need a massage? Mamie Lee is their massage therapist and can work out those sore, tired muscles. Go ahead, schedule an appointment today. Call LaBella Salon 202-50.
Come on, Nick. We'll welcome you in over there.
I'm serious. I don't care for the guy. Hey, and then when I try to be nice, when his ass loses every damn job he's ever.
Country Pleasin' Sausage. Thank you for helping make Country Pleasin' your go-to sausage on game day. From original to jalapeno and cheese, black pepper cheddar, even crawfish and pork, we can't get enough at Sports Talk 97.7, and it seems like you can't either. Check for Country Pleasin' at your local retailer, and for additional flavors, check them out at countrypleasin.com. That's countrypleasin.com.
Has your yard work and summer fun already put your back and neck in a bind? Bending, lifting, twisting puts additional tension and pressure on your back and neck. Once your muscles and nerves become inflamed, you start to feel the pain and stiffness, and no matter how many over-the-counter medications you take, it just won't go away. Well, it's time to call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston. Chiropractic treatments work to get your back and neck working properly again. Play it smart. Stretch before and after. And when you need a chiropractor, call Dr. Bob Rendina at Chiro Network in Ruston.
You know that chair you sit in for the game and somehow wake up in hours later? That's the Z-Cliner by FlexSteel. This isn't just a recliner, it's a sleep chair built for real comfort. The Z-Cliner smoothly reclines into a zero-gravity position, giving you the support you need whether you're watching the late game, taking a quick nap, or sleeping through the night. FlexSteel combines the comfort of a premium recliner with ergonomic support designed for long periods of rest, not just sitting. From your head and shoulders to your legs and lower back, the Z-Cliner is built to help your body relax the right way. It's perfect for movie nights, overnight guests, or anyone who wants the flexibility of a chair that truly does more. And because it's FlexSteel, you get durable craftsmanship, smooth motion, and lasting quality you can count on. Watch in it, relax in it, sleep in it. The FlexSteel Z-Cliner. Your seat, your sleeper, your comfort zone. Find it at FlexSteel retailers nationwide at zcliner.com/Dan Patrick.
Get in the game. Now, back to the Nick Brown Show.
Welcome back to the Nick Brown Show on the Nick Brown Show Network. We appreciate you waking up early on this Saturday morning. We would not have sports great, music greats, political figures, etc. I do not know of a perfect individual on this earth. Thank you, Chuckopedia.
Sounds like a sub for Nick Brown's Sunday school class.
Chuckopedia.
There goes our heartwarming story for the day.
There you
right
go.
There, Chuckopedia.
Yeah, you know, if I would have asked, okay, who is the most flawed individual in sports, we would have gotten a lot of responses. I handed the floor over to you on the topic of the day. Not one heartwarming story except from you two.
Yeah, but how much would that have been appropriate for radio with some of the stories we would have gotten?
Well, you look through, and I think that there are some of us that are drawn to flawed individuals. You go with, some people say Cam Newton, the stolen laptop. So that led to you being, you going through. So there is a difference there. But excited about the Men's College World Series.
Who's going to win?
I'm going with Oklahoma.
I'm going UNC.
I think UNC. I like
I'm
their
with
pitching.
Nick. I'm gonna ride the hot hand.
They are. They absolutely. Now, I thought Georgia with the Cracker Jack Stadium that Jay Johnson was talking about, I thought that Omaha would give them trouble. I really did.
It didn't early, but the last two it did.
One thing to watch is, and this Quint, not an Auburn show, but you look at To the Top. Travis Creel, the hitting coach for the Golden Eagles, got the head coaching job at Jacksonville State. Will that impact with Louisiana Tech moving into the Sun Belt? Is that going to impact them at all whatsoever? I thought Gabe Gross, Auburn hitting coach, was up for the job, but then again, Auburn was 4 for 33 in super regionals the last 2 years with runners in scoring position. Let that sink in. 4 for 33. You're not going to win that. Now, we mentioned that with Lynn, talking about Alabama, but I really thought that Ole Miss would win some games in Omaha.
Yeah, I think that was probably the most shocking, was that Ole Miss they didn't look like the same team from the previous 2 weeks all of a sudden when they got to Omaha.
Yeah, I thought pitching's huge in Omaha, and I thought that would play to their advantage.
All right. We're going to close out the show. You mentioned it earlier. Let's go look at the landscape in college athletics, the bill that's being sent.
Well, one thing too this week is again goes back to I just want to choke people sometimes, is where Kentucky just hired Michigan State's athletic director and gave him $3 million. And it's just like, what are you doing? I mean, my gosh. I mean, athletic directors are getting paid $500,000, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and now we've got them to $2, $3, $4 million.
So the salaries are really still bothering you. They bothered you.
It's just because I think people just think there is this unlimited pot, and there is a point where you're going to get to, because they're basically running athletic departments like GoFundMe's.
I think
while
he looks
donation.
He's going to go over. I will tell you this: you're exactly right. And here's where that hurts a little guy. Okay, you look at your Conference USA, your Sun Belt teams, squeezing them out, because when you're paid $3 million a year. Now, here's funny. We could go down a rabbit hole. I still want you to bring this up, Cheer. Committee. Okay, you're going to be judged for that $3 million a year, how much postseason your team goes into play. All right, I'm just like this year in baseball. You don't think that committee, I'm on the committee, you hired the baseball coaches, and I know this year, State coach, but who are you going to put in? Like, if I'm the Kentucky athletic director, I'm friends with you, the Tennessee athletic director. I'm not friends with the cheer guy who's at South Carolina. Money because, hey, look, scratch my back. I know you're getting $3 million a year. You just hired this baseball coach, and I know you need to get in a tournament. Boom! I'm telling you,
is when you get guys that are making that kind of money, they're around coaches making that kind of money. The athletic board is people making that kind of money. So whether tickets don't relate to the guy, and my son, my youngest, the captain, he's single and he does okay financially. And when he looks at the price of a Tennessee-Texas game and goes, I can't do that. That's where you're getting into, because he is not at a poor demographic at all. And he goes, I ain't paying that.
Well, I tell you, I don't know if you heard this. When I was at the beach, when you guys admirably filled in on the Nick Brown show, you guys did a remark. We were at the beach. I need to delay the beach trip a week or move it up a week. So I said, I'll go to the Super Regional. Had a free room place to stay. I wasn't paying because I had both sons. Hey, we'll leave the beach. I'll take Brett and RJ with me. I wasn't paying $600 for standing room only tickets. I wasn't going to spend $1,800 by the jersey for Brett, cap for RJ, and then all the food. I'm not spending $2,500 to go to.
So you've got two things going on right now. You got one, the House is trying to limit 5 years of eligibility straight out of high school or once you turn 19. And then also only a one-time transfer without having to sit out. And then more news this week, the MLB owners are getting together and deciding they're looking at getting rid of high school students being eligible for the draft, and also college programs. It's going to be good for a lot of them. You're essentially going to be running the minor league baseball program because you're going to have every high school kid coming in.
Here's the thing. You have your programs. You're going to be AA. You look at the SEC is going to be the major league. Your Sun Belt Conference USA going to be AAA. Your Southland going to be AA, and then other quick. Having a son that finished in class of 2023, that is really the class that got the shaft all the way to college. That's when the NCAA gave everyone else a COVID year, and now everyone that finishes in 2024 is going to be beneficiary of that 5-for-5 rule.
And
so a lot of players that came in from JUCO with him now that went straight to JUCO are going to have 3 years as opposed to him having 2. But life is not fair.
Then it'll all go to the courts, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Appreciate you listening to the show. Those listening on Classic Hits 94.5 in Jackson, Alabama. Appreciate Steve. We want you guys to be a part of the show. You can follow us, email us, NickBrownShow@yahoo.com. We appreciate it. For John Tabor, for the Preacher Man, the Cheer Guy, I am Nick Brown. Until next week, as always, keep the coffee warm.